If you're feeling a little bit worried about Polkadot, let's take a look at it today, okay? Welcome back to Road Dog Crypto. My name is Lane, your crypto road dog. Taking a look at Polkadot, throwing up the chart that we looked at last. Nothing has changed here other than me moving these little price targets over a little bit. First thing that we can see is that we did break down out of this pattern. We came down and we wicked down to my oh crap target, this 0.27 fib level right here. $6.04 on KuCoin. It looks like they actually got down to about $5.98 there. We wicked down and we have not been back here since, but man, are we flirting with this area. The chart's a real mess and I'll clean that up, but before I do, let me just show you a few things on here. We had a ascending, broadening pattern right here, and it broke out to the downside of it. It didn't get enough momentum to take us out of this pattern. We had a target up here, $9.27, and that is a far off target. Wasn't expecting it to be hit anytime soon. But we were also forming another pattern that was coming up, which is also the same thing here, riding a widening, broadening wedge. Now, taking the measured move from that pattern and putting it at the breakout also brings us right back down to my oh crap target of the 0.27, which is right around a little over $6. So that is where we are now. But before I clear this out, let's just take a look at this bigger pattern that we had before. Now, it's also got a measured move. If we were to take that and apply it to the overall breakout, not saying that this is going to happen, but it might. And that measured move brings us down to $4.03. Which in my mind is a great time to pick up Polkadot, because if we flip over here to the weekly, that would be picking it up where I actually got in on it before the whole bull market that we had last time. So it's a good place to get in on it, and definitely do see some upside from Polkadot. But man, taking a dive down there, if we do that, that's going to be scary for a lot of people. But it does prove to be a valid target area. So let's take a little deep dive and look at our indicators and see if it's possible that we hit that, or if we might be getting a bounce from the area that we're at currently. Now currently, and this is from the previous chart too, we are still in a falling wedge pattern here, and it has a 68% chance to break to the upside. We're nearing to the edge there, and I'm just going to pull that down a little bit. And of course, I am on the wicks. If I put it to the candle closes, it looks like we actually got a breakout. There's no volume here to support it, and that we're retesting that line. Now that could be a very good possibility. However, once it breaks out past that point, it's still got to get past this area of the wicks, right? So keeping that line on the wicks, that's just a little extra safeguard for confirmation, and we don't have that yet. So right now, I'm just going to clear out this whole chart and just kind of look at this with some fresh eyes. But I did want to bring up the pattern that we had before, because I think it's always important to look at your past work and see what's going on, what went wrong, what went right. And we can see we just did not have it right here to make it through, to get a bounce off of this area. And that's when we started taking a downturn. Polkadot did hit all of our buy areas. So if you're accumulating, you should have gotten in at some good places, but now are we looking for some more downside? And that's the question we want to answer today. Okay, so here I am on the weekly chart, and I marked some weekly resistance areas, and we are currently straddling or laying on top of a weekly resistance level. There is a stronger resistant level beneath that, coming in at $5.42. If we do not keep our support here, that would be the next target area that we'll go down to. The Ichimoku cloud, since I've got it up here, the top is staying level. That's a good sign. The bottom is starting to turn down. You know, there's some downward pressure coming right now. Looking at volume, we got price that is trending downward and volume that's trending down, meaning that this whole movement to the downside is starting to get a little bit weak. That gives us a sign that we could actually bounce from this area. That's a positive sign. Now, I've got the RSI pulled up here, and you can see that we are straddling the 30% area. When RSI dips below the 30 and then it comes back out and goes above the 30, that is your buy signal for RSI strategy. And now it's come back down and it's retesting that 30 and it's leveling out. And it looks like it might get a bump up from here, and we may actually have a trend line there. We'll just have to see how it plays out, but I'd like to see it bump above this trend line. If we see that, we got more upward action for DOT. MACD, however, is looking good. We did get a bullish cross here on the MACD, and the moving averages here are going to the upside. The histogram is still on the plus side, just kind of leveling out a little bit. So we're just kind of at a standstill on the weekly with DOT. Market cipher are showing where the stochastics have come down. There was some divergence there to push us to the downside, and it's starting to get a little turn here. So I'm curious to see if this is going to actually move to the upside. It looks like we could be getting ready for a green dot to print as soon as the VWAP right here, this little yellow indicator, this little yellow section right here, as soon as that yellow crosses up above this little line here and starts getting into the top, that's when the green dot will print. But we've got to see some more money flow curving around here. The money has left DOT, and that's the reason why we're kind of at these lows right now. So the weeklies tell me we are just at a stalemate position right now. I'm not seeing anything that's suggesting any sharp moves to the downside or any sharp moves to the upside on the indicators. So now we got to take a look at the daily. Now I pulled up my Bollinger Bands here, and you can see right here where we are squeezed more than we have been before. This is saying there's getting ready to be a big move here. Now whether it goes down or goes up, it doesn't say that. It doesn't reveal that. So we have to look at other indicators to get an idea of how this might play out. We are currently below the center line right there in our Bollinger Bands. We want to be above that for upward breakouts. Now looking at Ichimoku, it is starting to thin out a little bit. Now this is meaning some more downward action here. Now how far down, I don't know. It could just kind of level out around where it is, or we could be looking at a bigger move down. Market Cipher has confirmed a red dot here a couple of days ago, and it looks like we are getting a reset of our stochastic RSI right here. So we can probably expect to see it come back down to these zero levels here. VWAP is still going to the downside. Momentum wave is going to the downside, and it's very thick here, so this looks like it's a stronger move, that there's been a lot of sell-off in Polkadot. Now I'm not aware of any bad news coming out about Polkadot, so I don't know where the selling pressure would exactly be coming from. So let's take a look at our RSIs. All right, so RSI is still moving to the upside there. RSI is angling up. Price is kind of staying flat, but a little bit of a down move. It's mostly a little bit too flat. So when this happens, when price is flat, but then our RSI, the RSI will be angling up. This is something called exaggerated bullish divergence, and it's a weaker form of bullish divergence. So that, in my opinion, is what's keeping us kind of staying here at this level, is this weak form of bullish divergence. And hopefully it'll be enough to hold us there. Now the Ichimoku is kind of curving here a little bit. We got to keep a close eye on this. We could see some lower areas. If we do, I'm definitely buying some up, because I think anywhere under $6.50 is a decent place to accumulate DOT. But if you can get DOT in the $5 range, man, to me, that's perfect. And that's the range that I got in on the previous bull market, right around between $4.50 and $5.50. And DOT did a 10x from there. So am I nervous about it being in here? Well, as an investor and me accumulating this project, not at all. I just keep collecting little by little during these major pullbacks that we have with Bitcoin in the market, trying to catch these at the bottom prices. And then I take DOT, and now that you can stake it, that's what I'm doing with it. I'm up 300 and something DOT, and I'm trying to build that up to as much as I can. My next target is probably about 500 DOT that I want to have staked. And if the prices keep coming down, even if it were to come back down to say $3.80, I'll be pyramiding my buys, putting the biggest majority of my buys right here, the bigger buy purchases, and then I'll just taper them down, smaller buys, smaller buys, smaller buys as we go up. And that's my accumulation strategy for this. But rest assured, with the Bollinger Bands coming in that tight, there's something getting ready to pop off, whether it goes up or whether it goes down. Given that we have some weak bullish divergence there, I'm looking more for some upside potential, hopefully, but or don't hold me to that, because these markets be crazy right now. Now, overall, if we zoom out, you could say, some people might say that we're actually in a descending triangle formation here. Possible. Those can be a little tricky to identify, because a lot of times this bottom line is just not always perfectly straight the way that we'd hope it to be. It does seem to hold that. Some people might also identify it more as a slight falling wedge. Very possible too. That does have a better possibility to break up to the upside. But as far as descending wedge, we'd kind of want to see some cupping in the volume, and I'm not seeing that. And often, if the price is coming in from the top, this can be a continuation pattern to the downside. It is typically looked that way. However, in certain situations, when it occurs at the bottom of a big price movement, it can be a reversal pattern. So keep our eyes out on that. I do have a video in our Chart School series that does break this pattern and how it works and how to trade it down into more details. And not meaning to scare anyone, but let's just be honest with the measured move here. That measured move, if it were to break down, retest, and then keep going on down, you could see DOT get down as low as $1.11. Not what you wanted to hear, I'm sure, and not what I expect to happen at all. But got to tell you what the charts say. But there's also an upside to this, and we put our measured move where a breakout possibly could occur. We'd be looking at a target of about $12.45 if price comes up to this area, breaks out, and then makes its way to the upside. And that does make sense with this thickening of this Ichimoku cloud, because price is attracted to the thick cloud and wants to work its way back up to it. And that was on the weekly, and this is what it looks like on the daily. The daily is the one that's having a little thinning here. So very curious to see how this plays out. It looks like we may have a chance to go sideways, and hopefully that's what we will do. Keep your eye on this trend line right here. Anything below right here at this $6.11. If we break below $6 downside, if we can get a bounce here, we've got a chance to make it back up to the top of this pattern, which would be around the $7 range. Hopefully that's what we'll see. Some other patterns could develop here. It could be playing out something, could come back up to this level, retest a little bit, kind of make a kind of cup and handle situation. That's very possible, because at one point in this bull market, we'll start seeing a lot of true cup and handles form. And that's a secret to keep your eye out for when we really start seeing some upturn for all the projects. When true cup and handles start forming on a lot of these major time frames, these slow rounded bottoms, and we start getting those 4-hour crosses and we start getting those golden crosses on the moving averages on the 4-hour, those are the times to really start looking to jump in. At the moment, DOT's just having a little bit of a hard time, and whether it decides to go up or goes down depends on this line right here at $6. So I hope this information has been helpful to give you a little encouragement and help you to determine how that you want to structure how you're going to play this, whether you're investing or trading. Sometimes we just have to take a deep breath and zoom out and just realize, hey, everything's going to be okay. Until next time, my name is Lane, your Crypto Road Dog, reminding you to stay positive and remember, you got this, baby.
Good afternoon, everyone. Captain Lane speaking, and wishing you a safe travels to your crypto destination. For those of you traveling with mice, please securely position your cursor over the like button below and right-click with your favorite finger. For those with touchscreen devices, we ask that you gently press the thumbs up near the bottom of your screen. Thank you for choosing Road Dog Crypto. Please trade wisely and enjoy the rest of your video.
Is that a UFO?